everyone? Welcome back to another edition of What's Happening Now. As always, remember to like, share, and comment on this broadcast, as there could be some information here not only useful to yourself, but maybe useful to a family member, a neighbor, whoever who can use this information. The HBCU initiative is still going strong. We're halfway through with that. These young entrepreneurs will be looking to graduate here within the next 4 weeks. We're excited about that. They are excited, and they're going to go on to do great things. We do have the HBCU pitch contest. It's going to be starting here on the 27th of October. If you hadn't had a chance to sign up for that, you do have a few days left to go ahead for that, where they'll be giving away $10,000 for first prize winner and $5,000 the second and $2,500 the third. And there will be some honorable mention $500 prizes for those who actually signed up and pitched their business. So tonight's broadcast is being brought to us by Will Technology. As always, Will Technology provides that advanced technology in programming management and innovate solutions to various federal government agencies, including the U.S. military, Department of Defense, and NASA. All right, so tonight in the studio, we have a special guest all the way from the East Coast, up in the DC area. We have Miss Angela Heath, founder, owner, operator, guest speaker, keynote speaker, you name it, she has done it all with us. Angela, welcome to the show. Welcome.
Hello, Charles, and thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Outstanding. So, Angela, tell us a little bit about what is TKC?
So at TKC, we help people become self-employed. I mean, that's the easiest way to say it, but we do it in a couple different ways. Because I'm a speaker and a trainer, so I do that on the corporate side. But when I'm working with smaller companies, solopreneurs, side hustle folks, I help them tap into the power of thought leadership to grow their business. So writing strategic books, getting up on stages to promote your business, and then creating signature offerings that meet the needs of their target audience.
All right, that's awesome. So one of the things that attracted me to you in your business is something that you do that I find is very unique, and a lot of young small businesses and up and coming entrepreneurs can actually use this, is that you also have a platform whereas you are actually helping small businesses utilize AI in their business to help them grow. How exactly does that work?
Yeah, this all started because I train people to become freelancers and self-employed. And Charles, I noticed everybody's getting stuck in the same places. You know, they get so frustrated because they run out of energy. It takes a while, the old-fashioned way, to build a business. So when I discovered ChatGPT in mid-December, I was like, oh my goodness, if I can get this to my audience, we can save them so much time, so much effort, and even money getting their businesses started. And so I just created the tools based on my experience working with small businesses and what they need to grow. And the AI biz generators were born.
Wow. I know we here at CNI Solutions, we've had a guest here before where they talked about AI, and we talked about ChatGPT and how to utilize it. And I've even learned a few things myself along the way of utilizing ChatGPT the right way and understanding garbage in is garbage out. But what you're doing is a little bit different. And your program, the way you got it set up, it's actually for that novice, if you will, if I'm correct in that, for someone who doesn't understand ChatGPT and how to use it. Whereas for that person who's starting their business, they could just input their information and your program will give them everything they need. Now, can you explain a little bit on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's really about being able to ask the right questions. So we all know when we start our entrepreneurial journey, what are we going to do? We're going to do a ton of research. We want to understand who potential customers are, who our competitors are. We want to know what the landscape is in terms of the marketplace. So we need to do a lot of research. And a lot of people starting new businesses, they're not avid researchers. They don't know, especially now on the internet, it's really hard to tell what is real data versus fake data.
Mm.
So I thought to myself, if we could help them to go along a pathway to save them that time, that effort, and that money, they will be able to get their business off the ground quicker, and they will be able to pinpoint who they're selling to and know where to find them. That by itself saves so many entrepreneurs stress and aggravation.
I can agree with you more because I'm telling you, there's a lot of times I'd be aggravated. Uh, so ChatGPT AI has not been around forever, and is relatively new to the market. How did you come upon this? What got you involved and wanting you to be able to utilize this for these small businesses?
Well, back in ChatGPT came out November 30th last year. And I found out about it December 15th. And the reason I know is because I was working on another program where I was teaching people how to write books without writing a word. And I found out about ChatGPT and I said, this is a game changer. And from that point on, I just start saying entrepreneurs, small business owners, solopreneurs in particular, micro-sized businesses. These tools, if you understand these tools, they're going to help you to compete against larger companies and win contracts that you never dreamed you would be able to get. And so Charles, I spent many a night, all night, because I was so fascinated with being able to tap into this resource for the business person and how it would help them.
Wow. I tell you what, I know that going through our entrepreneur courses and talking to a lot of these young entrepreneurs who are starting out, one of the key things that they're always having this issue with, or their sticking point is truly identifying who their real avatar is. You know, who is that customer who they're actually trying to sell to. And I think what your program is, it helps identify that. And not only do that, it breaks it down so much. It's giving them so much more than just saying, hey, these are their likes. This is what they need to like. Find out about this. And here's a little ad for you as well. You know, I think that is within itself is going to be a plus for anybody who's starting off. You know, what do you find the most difficult in utilizing this? Or I should say, what do you find that a lot of your potential customers who are utilizing the generator itself give you the feedback saying, hey, I didn't understand how to do this, or this was kind of difficult. Do you get any of that?
You know, the biggest problem is fear. People assume because you say artificial intelligence, oh my God, I got to be an engineer. I've got to learn prompt engineering. I tell people all the time, I am a non-techie tech person, meaning that I love tech. I don't know that much about it. So when even creating these generators, I discovered, Charles, there are people who are able to earn money because now we can do so much, create so many tools with no coding, because I don't know how to code. So the fear is the number one thing. They're just afraid. They've just made up all of this in their mind. They've watched TV. They're like, oh, AI is going to take my job. That's the exact reason why you need to understand it, because some people's jobs will disappear, but there'll be other jobs that are made. And in the meantime, before the jobs start to disappear, take advantage. If you've got a company, expand what you do so that you can have multiple streams of income. You can automate things so you have more time. You can create your social posts so that you can get your company out there. Use it. The only other thing, because we don't get many, this is so hard, but what we do get, Charles, and I'm sure you've seen this, is that people don't understand when they get the data, they still don't understand what to do with it. So if they get the 23 data points, the psychographic, infographic, buying behavior, social media patterns of their ideal customer, they're just like, this is great to have, but where's the real application? And that's why we had to build a training into it so people really understand what that means. You can get overwhelmed when you get too many. We have one generator called the leads generator, and some people like, oh, this is so good, and they go out and they try to do everything. And so just even saying no, you make a plan. You start with the lowest hanging fruit, what from your experience you believe is going to be the most successful, and you plan it out every month, every quarter, every year, how you're going to expand and grow that business.
That is awesome. So, do you? I think you have like a demonstration that you wanted to show the viewers exactly how one of your generators work. And if you could pull that up, I'm sure I'm excited to see it. I want to learn more on it, and I would love, to be part of this. So maybe I might need to put CNI Solutions in there. All right.
Yeah, think about it. So here are the AI generators, and we've got a couple bundles. One is called a book bundle, and one is called a business bundle. So here are the generators that you have. And these are all separate generators. They all come in a bundle. The reason they're separate is because people are in different phases. And you need to understand, if you're building out your business, what you need right then and there. If we gave you one huge tool, again, you're going to be trying to eat an elephant. But this way you can choose what you actually need to do. So it's everything from, I want to start a little side hustle. What should I really do? Given the knowledge and expertise I have right now, what can I do? All the way to pivoting, brand extensions for those existing businesses. How do they grow? How do they bring in more streams of income? Your sales funnel, knowing what your competitors are doing. I mean, it's all that I believe they really need to know about. So I really love these generators. They are so powerful. And if we have time, I would love to do a demo. I showed you the customer generator offline. I would love to show you the leads generator. I think
Please do.
that's a
Please
good
do.
one. Okay. So
Showing is believing.
Here's your leads generator. And the purpose of this is to really give you ideas about where you can find your leads. Now, some of these ideas are going to be things that you've already thought about, but some of them are going to start your wheels to turning, and it's going to start you to thinking, oh my gosh, I can really find some new folks there. So, Charles, you want to give me and one of the companies that you work with. Let's run through this. So think of a company and what they sell, and let's see what kind of ideas it will give them for leads. So name a company.
I am now starting my custom gun holsters.
Oh, that's a good one. Custom leather gun holsters. How do you spell holster? Is that right? Holster.
HOLSTER.
L. Okay, so you guys, you see that you don't have to spell well to be an entrepreneur. So what is that? Is that niche in that industry? What is that? I don't know what you would call that.
I guess
Firearms.
Firearms.
Okay. What about your number one market segment? Because we can sell firearms to a bunch of different types of people. Tell me about, who do you think their number one target market would be? Describe that buyer.
I would say the middle to upper class.
Tell me about them. Are they men, most likely?
Mostly men, business owners, or corporate office.
Uh, do they live, do you think, more in a rural,
They
suburban?
live in the suburbs.
Suburban. Okay. So what geographic does this custom leather gun holster maker live? Where do they live? And where are they selling? Where are they going to be?
They live in the South,
Okay.
and probably within the city. There's within the city.
Okay. So this is what this generator is going to do. It is looking for, it's trying to find companies like this custom leather gun holster company. It's trying to find those companies, and then it's looking for what are the kinds of things that they've done, those business owners, to actually get their customers. And it's
Oh,
looking at the marriage between this is what you're selling and this is what your market wants. That's why I really like these. It combines the two. So let's see what it's suggesting for this person. So you're going to do online advertising, and it's suggesting that you use Google AdWords and targeting Southern US cities. And it's giving you some step-by-step instructions. The keywords you should use: leather holsters, gun accessories, gun owners in the South. And it's giving you a little understanding of how you're going to actually do some of this marketing. It's also suggesting to you that you use Facebook and Instagram. For your content marketing strategies, it's telling you to publish blog posts and articles and videos with step-by-step instructions, answering frequently asked questions, optimizing your content for the relevant keywords and metadata that you know they're going to be looking for. And then you can promote it within online communities. It even gives you affiliate marketing suggestions. So partner with influencers, gun enthusiasts, firearm reviewers, gun related websites, so that you can partner with them and they're going to help you get sales. They're going to bring in those referrals. Tells you step by step how you do that. And then, of course, you got your email marketing. The email marketing, they are making a recommendation that you use either MailChimp or ConvertKit. Why? Because MailChimp is free. And we want to make sure that our entrepreneurs who are using this, they are not going to be spending money unnecessarily. And ConvertKit is a very powerful tool. So it's telling you can do your lead magnets so you can collect. And then it goes on and on, Charles. You got the gun shows, you got the local networking and how you can, oh my goodness, collaborating with gun stores, for the holsters. It gives you all of your social media engagement, your influencer marketing. You've got 10 ways to find leads.
wow.
I love that.
That is awesome. That is awesome. We got a couple. I got a question here in the chat, but I want to ask something though. What do you say to somebody who says, "Well, why do I need to use her generator when I can just go to Chat GPT and get that?"
I say this, Charles, if you are proficient with any AI tool, use it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever works the best for you. But what we've done with these generators, these are just not chat GPT, let me ask you a question. There's a lot of prompt engineering behind each one of these generators. Our goal is to make sure you get the information you need. And then part two to that is that you can use the information you need. So let me give you a real example. That leads generator, you see it had 10 different things that you could do,
Right.
right? In order to increase your potential revenue. Some people will get that and now they're totally overwhelmed because they can't understand by looking at that list what is the thing that they might want to do first. So some of this is like understanding who you are, who your business is, your market, like if you're in a particular city. Knowing what you would then look at your competitors in your city. We've got a competitor generator. You see what the people who make the most money selling these hosters are doing, and you want to be in the same camp with them. Now, some people will say, oh, well, why would I want to do what my competitor does? It's the same reason that the big guys copy each other over and over again. They use the same colors or websites. You find mostly all financial organization big guys. They're going to have blue and green on their website because they know that there's enough research behind it that that translates into money. So you want to follow big guys, and then you're going to do some of what they do, and then you're going to find something they're not doing. And that way you can distinguish yourself. But if everybody is going to gun shows and you say, well, I'm not going because there's too many people there, too much competition there. But that's where most of the deals are being made. You need to go to the gun show in addition to other things. So the training that we offer really helps the entrepreneur to know, how do you make these decisions? If you run one of these generators, what's the next question that you need to answer in order to take the steps that are going to build or grow a business?
Mm. Deep, deep, deep. So one of the questions we got here from my veterans place in Savannah, Georgia, she's saying anything for nonprofits to help with fundraising and training.
Well, I don't have anything. Our AI biz generators are really for profit, but there are actually some tools that you can look for. You can do a simple Google search. There are tools out there now that help people find grants for nonprofits. I think it's called Grants GPT. I think it's called Grants GPT. Let me see if I can find that while we're talking, but I think that's the name of it. So there are people who are actually starting businesses to help nonprofits get those grants.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So keep talking. I'll find the name of it and I'll tell you.
And I know when I see things like that, and do you find a lot of people who do not take advantage of what your service has to offer, and you see them struggling? Like, you can use this and you could be so much further down the road.
Mm-hmm.
How do you address those potential clients who definitely need your service, but just won't reach out to, or won't do it, or because they don't believe in AI, or they feel like it's going to lead me down the wrong path?
Here's the deal. We're still at the beginning of AI. And we know that the media has done a really great job of scaring people, a really great job of scaring people. So it's an education process. And I'm fine with that because it's just like all of the entrepreneurs who will listen to this broadcast. Everybody's not your customer. My customer are people who are starting out. They understand that AI is going to help them go quicker, be more accurate and more precise. It's their research assistant. There are
Right.
people out there who can't write, but they need to write. If they're an entrepreneur, you're going to either pay for content or create content yourself. Content is king today.
Right. Right.
So I
That,
can't worry about the people who are still scared. I can't worry about them
right.
because the people are still scared. When we get into the future, they're probably going to be looking for me.
That was one of the things that it was said before. It's like, hey, it's here, and it's either you're going to get on this train and ride it, or you're going to get left behind, because just like many things that came before Chat GPT, when computers first came online,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing a computer, I'm not doing a computer, but like, hey, either you learn how to start using a computer, or you're going to get left behind, because everything's going to switch to this digital age where you have no choice but to learn how to utilize it.
And Charles, do you remember? Do you remember when they said that the internet was going to make our kids dumb?
No,
Don't let your kid use the internet. They're not going to be able to think if they use it.
right. I do remember that. That is something. It's crazy how that has changed, and the way that we are looking at that. Let's see here. So whenever, let me ask you this: those can your generator work for somebody who's already in business?
Oh, yes, absolutely. If you look at the tools, they are progressive. So those first set of tools are all about people who are starting or changing their business. For
Mm-hmm.
example, we have a pivot generator. So a lot of people during the pandemic, and they are still pivoting because the opportunities are vast these days. So you take everything that you've already done in your business, and you take where you think you want to go, and you use that pivot generator to help you make decisions about that. So it'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to tell you, these are the kinds of expenses you're going to have. These are going to be sort of like a SWOT analysis, sort of. These are going to be some challenges that you face. We also have a brand extension generator, and a guy who runs, well, he used to run one of the small business development centers. When I showed him that one, he was like, oh goodness, because what it does is it takes your brand and it looks for those possibilities to extend it, and not just a line extension. It looks like customer extension. It looks at every level of an extension, and then you decide, because some of the stuff actually is not going to be for your business, but they're ideas. And when you get ideas as an entrepreneur, they just lead you to more ideas, and you will know, if you've already been in business, what's going to work for you, and you're going to test it. Does it work? If it doesn't, you shut it down and go on to the next thing. So, yes, the generators have an opportunity to help people from the beginning all the way through. And I'm actually thinking about, because there are going to be a couple more lines of generators, I'm thinking about helping people to exit their business, setting up some generators for that.
Okay. Got another question here. Says, are there any particular niches or industries that the generators better serve?
The generators work for any niche in any industry because they're not industry specific. So
Mm-hmm.
when you want to know about your customers, you put your niche industry keywords in it. That's all you have to do. And it's going to tell you about your industry. So they are not dependent on a particular industry or niche.
Okay, good to hear that. Good to hear that. I would be. Or do you find, or do you think you will develop a generator for a nonprofit?
I don't think that I will do that. I think many of these generators nonprofits can use. The nonprofit space is not really my area of expertise. Now, if I was working with an organization like yours and you say, hey, um, let's work together and create these generators, because now that we've created these first tools, we can crank these things out. And you said, hey, this is what nonprofits need. This is the whole series from soup to nuts.
Mhm.
We would always consider possible partnerships. But as for my business, I would not go into the nonprofit space.
Okay, that's good to know. I think as these small businesses, because I know we do get a lot who want to go into nonprofits, a lot of entrepreneurs who want to start a nonprofit, and I do my best to explain to them the the struggles a nonprofit can have, and especially when it comes into, like the one young lady said, about finding grants and how to get the right thing in there. So I think that is something that they should know, especially when it comes to Chat GPT. You mentioned earlier in regards to Chat GPT, you said that a lot of times we have to validate what we use when we're utilizing Chat GPT. So remember growing up, and I used to say to my mom, like, hey, I got to write this essay. How do you spell encyclopedia? And what she would say, well, look it up. Okay, well, if I knew how to spell it, I wouldn't need to look it up. Like this. So what do you say to somebody who is using Chat GPT or any type of AI, and how do they validate what that AI is giving them?
Well, there's a couple ways. Now, if you're using Chat GPT and you don't want to pay the monthly subscription, it's going to be harder for you to validate with that tool. The monthly subscription is $20. And with $20, they are rolling out once again. They did it once, they pulled it back. Now they're rolling it out again. Chat GPT being connected to the internet. So once it's connected to the internet, it's going to be able to grab the data that you would need, and it will have references attached to it. But that's only being rolled out to the people who actually have a subscription. The other thing you can do is go over to some of your other favorite AI tools and validate anything that is in there. Let me tell you a funny story about validation. One time I was teaching people who were looking for jobs how they can use AI to look for jobs. So basically, what you do is you put a job listing in and you give it the prompts that say, here's a job listing and here's my resume. Redo my resume only using the truth that's in the resume, but make it so that it has the keywords and it addresses this particular job opening. So I was doing that, and I did it for myself as an example. And as I was doing the demo, when it pulled it up, I said, oh my gosh, is Chat GPT knowing more about me than I ever imagined? It said that I went to Howard University. I'm in the DC area. I did not go to Howard, but I said, does it know that I'm Black? Is that why they said that I went to Howard? And then it also said that I went to graduate school at the University of Maryland. I'm 3 miles from the University of Maryland, but I went to graduate school at Miami University. So I don't know where it got that from, unless because it wasn't supposed to be connected to the internet to find information about me. So I said, am I already in Chat GPT's database? So you
So,
do have to check it.
so you've mentioned that a couple times. You said to validate Chat GPT, what it says, you got to be connected to the internet. Explain that.
Okay. So Chat GPT right now is not connected to the internet live. The data that they input into it goes up to November 21. So, in order to get information beyond that, you have to go to a source that is connected to the internet, because the internet is going to have all of the recent data. So, that's one way that you can validate it. But if you are getting information out there, anything that has statistics, averages, numbers, any of that, you're going to then take it over to the internet and say, is this statistic correct? And you can find out whether or not it's correct.
All right. We had a question here, but I think they said that you answered that question during this comment. It says, how do I know if AI output is giving me up-to-date information? And if I am utilizing AI for my business, should I also validate information with other credible sources? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can go over to tools like Bard. You can go over there, and that tool will actually give you your reference. So it'll tell you the answer to your question, and it'll give you your reference. But I would still go over to the reference and just make sure anytime you're doing statistics for your company, you want to always make sure that your numbers are accurate. I would always go over there. When you're doing things like we have a competitor generator, and when it's telling you about competitors, this is something that just happened recently. When we first built out that generator, we were getting great data. I mean, we were getting SWOT analysis on our competitors. We were finding out how much our competitors were spending on Google ads. I mean, we were getting some really
Wow.
rich data. Probably some of the people whose information was being spit out complained, and then we couldn't get anything for a while. We couldn't get any real data. We were getting all, it could be a company that does XYZ, but there was no name to the company. Well, now they just swung back in the other direction, just slightly, probably closer to the middle, where you can get some data, but you're not going to get everything that you could at the
Mm.
beginning. So I always tell people with AI, this is a fast moving area. It changes every week. There's no way that anybody can keep up with it. I follow AI and I'm a member of different groups. I go to conferences. I'm on people's lists that are tracking things. Don't let the quick changes get you so confused and riled up about what you're trying to do. You just need some simple tools, some simple prompts that you use for your business. Make sure the output is what you want. And when it's writing your content, you're never going to take your content out of a computer and throw it up somewhere. You're going to read it, you're going to edit it. And if you want to rewrite it, which is what I usually tell people to do, there are tools that you can do for that. You can use Rewrite, you can use Quillbot. There's lots of tools that you can take the content, take it over to another tool and say, rewrite it. It will sound more like you if you tell it to
Right.
rewrite it and include this about my brand, include this is the way I write. Um, I have a little humor in my writing, whatever it is that you want it to replicate for you.
I think and you make a good point there, Angela, because I think right now, amongst everyone being scared about AI, they are also trusting AI. and
Yes.
and they're trusting it to give them the right stuff, what they need, everything from businesses to students using it to write papers and stuff like that. They're trusting it just as much as they're scared of it. And I think you bring up a good point there. You need to review those things and proofread it and change it and make it fit your company's narrative, not
Exactly.
narrative.
Right, right. And I tell people this. It's a tool. You can look at it as an assistant. When my assistant gives me stuff, I never take exactly what they did and just face value do it. If it's in an area that I know really well, I may say, oh, well, I know that's correct. But
Right.
if it's in an area that kind of raises a flag for me, I'm going to say, I'm not sure if we want to say this. And I may do quick search. Do I want to say this? So it's a tool. It is not the answer to everything. We don't put our total trust in it, but we do use it to grow our businesses. We use it to save time, save effort, save money. We do use it, especially the very small businesses. I work with a lot of solopreneurs who are hiring, a lot of contractors. I've been in business over 25 years, and I've never had an employee. I work with contractors. I don't even want to go the route of employees. And it's like now that I use these tools, I am speeding. I'm speeding through some of the things that I do. I mean, we created all of these generators. So our training, the training we did prior to having these generators and the training after the generators, the people are moving so fast. They have much more accurate data to make decisions from. So, as you can tell, I'm an AI enthusiast, but I am also not foolish to know that there are some cautions that come along with AI.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I love what you're doing. I love the demonstration that you gave us, because that is going to be awesome, and it's so going to be so helpful to a lot of young entrepreneurs who are starting out, who don't know all those things they need to do to help elevate their business. And I'm glad you mentioned about the whole competitors and sit with your competitors, because one of the things that we talk about, and I mentioned that during our classes, look to see what your competitors are doing. Like this, there's nothing wrong with that, because obviously they're doing something right. Like this, only thing you need to do is figure out how you're going to do what they're doing, but better. Like this, and that is it. So I'm glad you got that, and I'm glad that your generators are doing these things to help these young businesses. Is there those who are watching and been viewing this? If you know someone out there is about to start their business and they're about to go live, and they need the type of help that Angela and her generators are doing, please reach out. I put her information is in the chat. Her websites are in there. Do you have a contact email that I can put in that chat for everyone, Angela?
Yeah, they can reach us at support@aibizgenerators.com. That's the best email. It's
I'll
support.
make sure that gets put in there. And those who are looking to utilize her help in our work, please reach out to her. Is there anything that you would like to add before we proceed to close?
Well, I think the main thing is I just want to encourage people. We are living, entrepreneurs, we are living in the best time. When I do my training, Charles, I'm sure you do the same thing. I will show people examples of people who are growing businesses, some of them like in an amazingly short period of time, a year or two. There's a guy who started knitting after he had COVID. He was featured on all of these TV programs, and he thought he would die. And so when he got finished with COVID and went back to work, he said, I never liked this place anyway, but now since I have a newfound respect for life, I'm quitting. He went back home and he started knitting because his grandmother told him knitting calms your nerves. And he found a community of people who are into knitting. And the next thing you know, he's doing classes online. Next thing you know, he's tie-dyeing the yarn and people are buying the yarn. That young man made almost $200,000 in less than a year.
Wow.
So I'm always collecting examples of how people are using everything, skills, talents, things that years ago when I was young, they tell you, you never make any money doing this thing. Nobody's going to buy that. So a lot of what we're doing today is trying to find those like-minded people, finding that customer avatar in groups. And there are always some groups for every last one of them. But I just encourage people, this is the best time. You've got AI tools that are going to help you. You can now differentiate yourself, take your skill set, you add your talents and your hobbies and your passion, you add all of that stuff together, and you make something brand new that people will love. So, yes, is entrepreneurism challenging from time to time? Absolutely. Yes. But it's so worth it, because when you're doing something that you were really born to do and you love to do, I don't feel like I work. Sometimes people say, "You seem like you work all the time." No, I don't. I don't work all the time because I control my time. But I may be working when you're having fun because I choose to work then. But I love what I do. So most of the time, I'm having fun and getting paid.
Hey, that is awesome. And that's the ticket there, is having fun. I appreciate you for joining us this evening and imparting this knowledge on this AI and how it works with your business. Those who are just joining, if you joined kind of late, please go back and view this program from the beginning, where Angela gave a great demonstration of how her generators work. It is an awesome tool. Share it with those who are about to start their business. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong with that. I appreciate you for being here, Angela. Hopefully in the future, when you get to that nonprofit world and you're ready to start making those generators for us nonprofits, please, please, please come look CNI Solutions up so we can get on board. All right.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Thank you. Hey, those again, please take time to share this program with those who can use it, because I'm telling you, Miss Heath gave some great information when it comes to AI, when it comes to your small business and getting it started and getting all of those pain points taken care of that some of us don't even know we got. Some of us don't even know they're even there. But those generators that she's created, her and her organization, I believe is a game changer for a lot of us out there who need them. And so, as always, remember, your yesterday is not your today, and your today is not your tomorrow. Good night.